Hi, and welcome to Box Office Maniacs, where we're doing our Christmas movies all this month, and I've got with me
Brandon Maniaci.
It's been a while since he's been in a video, so we actually got to see this movie together, so he's sitting in this time around.
Long time.
Anyway, so the movie that we watched together is a Christmas film, but it's not necessarily a Christmas film. It's not, what I mean is, it's not Christmas as in it's Santa Claus and presents and birth of Christ or anything like that. It's not traditional Christmas movie, so to speak. Actually, all it has to do with Christmas is the fact that it takes place on Christmas Eve in 1994.
In a mall.
In an indoor mall. And so, Brandon, what is the movie that we watched? What is the name of this movie?
It's called Camera Store.
Camera Store. Because it's about a camera store in a mall.
Takes place in a camera store.
In a mall.
Your store. It's an eyesore in my mall.
Firstly, this is not my store. I'm simply the manager.
With that said, this movie stars John Larroquette, who I know Brandon doesn't know John Larroquette from what? From Rudolph, right?
What he's trying to say is I don't know anything about John Larroquette was actually completely true. Because I don't. I don't know him. I'm not an 80s person.
So let me clue you in onto who John Larroquette is. John Larroquette is a comedian that starred in an 80s sitcom called Night Court. He played the character of Dan Fielding.
What's that?
He was the DA, I believe.
DA?
District Attorney.
I never knew that.
And he was hilarious. He was funny. He was one of the best parts of the show. Night Court was hilarious. It also stars another 80s phenomenon, John Rhys-Davies?
Yeah, something like that.
And you're trying to correct me?
Yeah.
John Rhys-Davies. I think I'm saying that right. But John Rhys-Davies was in two of the biggest 80s films ever, and actually in one of the biggest 90s, 2000s movies ever.
What movie is that?
Okay, the 80s movies he was in is Raiders of the Lost Ark and Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
Big fan.
He played the character of Salah.
Asps. Very dangerous.
He's the one that wants to bring the camels.
He actually played a character from another huge film. You know what it is?
Nope.
Have no clue.
No clue.
Lord of the Rings. He played the character of Gimli in Lord of the Rings. In all three Lord of the Rings films.
You have my axe.
Exactly. Now you got it.
I never knew that.
Now he's in this movie Camera Store.
So this movie is a drama and a comedy.
What it is it's not like a screwball comedy. It's not like a slapstick or sketch comedy or anything like that. But it has a darker tone to it because of the subject matter, so to speak.
And it's like right at the brink of where digital cameras has started becoming like manufactured and then becoming popular and stuff like that.
So suddenly in the 90s there was this, sudden takeover of digital, and John Larroquette plays a character named Ray Lapine, who owns this camera store, or owned the camera store at one point, and now he manages it, and he's trying to keep the business thriving. He's trying to keep it going. He's not wanting to let any corporate entity come in and take over and take his ideas and squash any hope of life left in the camera store out.
Well, of course, I'm totally self-obsessed, so I think the movie's about Ray. Although there are other people in it, I hear. There are other characters in it. But, it's the journey of Ray of either getting out of here or not. He's a lost man, really is what he is. He works in a camera store who's used to be his. It's just, he's a sad, emotionally stunted. Something happened to him that caused him to sort of stop. Just sort of stop.
And John Rhys-Davies plays his employee, his longtime employee and friend.
I loved the script. I thought it was brilliantly written. Andy at the card store says that Bibby has been seen in Pearl River. A great grey phantom. He's a tour de force character. As I live and breathe, here is the man. Pinky is just a natural optimist, you know. I don't see Randall just taking pictures. I see him making photographs. I mean, I'm sure that he has been a good provider in his own way until his own way catastrophically got so out of control that, you know, you cannot provide adequately for 5 wives and families.
So, you're married?
Oh, 5 times.
And the chemistry between these two characters is just phenomenal. It's just great. They're awesome together.
It's one of those two characters that you know they're going to have a friendship together, or they had a friendship together once you see them. You know that these guys were friends, you know, before you even knew they had a friend. Like, before you saw how their friendship built up.
That's what's so great about this film, too, is the writing. That type of writing and that type of storytelling. It's like all the characters that you see in here, instantaneously, you knew they had a background without even knowing the background. You knew instantaneously that these people had a connection of some sort without being told that.
Top of the morning to you on this blessed Christmas Eve day.
I swear to you, this is my last one. My last one.
I'm here to work with you. Mr. Bibido said I can learn something about business from you.
It takes place around several different characters. There's the mall manager.
We got policies about religious decorations in this mall. It's against the Constitution or something.
Girl on a bus who eventually we find out has something to do with one of the patrons that comes into the camera store. And I'm not trying to give away too much of the story. I don't want to do that because that's not what we do here. But all of these characters are phenomenal. All these actors are phenomenal. Every one of them. I mean, the big stars of the film is John Larroquette and John Rhys-Davies. But there's even Cheryl Ladd is in there, which I hadn't seen Cheryl Ladd in a long time in a film or TV show in quite a while either.
Never seen Cheryl Ladd.
So
I'm being left out here because I never seen almost any of these guys except one.
Well, you're not being left out because this is like a history lesson for you to a point.
A history lesson. U.S. or world? You gotta pick one.
And I actually did not know what to expect out of this film. I actually thought it was one of these artsy-fartsy films like Birdman or something like that. I kind of thought, well, maybe it's that. And then when I went in and saw it, it actually turned out to be this dark comedy, and it was so funny. I kind of looked at it as a mature version of Clerks, more of an adult thinking, rather than fart jokes or slapstick or screwball comedy. There is sarcasm in this movie, obviously, but I mean, it's more of a mature thinking rather than the high schooler's life or the young people's lives and having to work in a convenience store. This takes place in a camera store with older people.
I totally recommend you go see it, and this is why. One, the acting in it is absolutely just amazing. Just the acting, it deserves like an Academy Award for like every actor who plays in it. It's that good. And also, it had its specific scenes. Like, you have a specific drama scene where, you know, nothing is funny. It's all serious and stuff like that. But then it comes to the part where, you know, it's comedy and you have funny. You know, that's what I really liked about this movie. It was well balanced between drama and comedy. Overall, it was a good movie. Although I have to point this out as it's a review. I do have one downfall of the movie, but it's not that major. It's, small, that small.
How small?
You can't even see it.
Almost infinitesimal.
I'm not interested in business and money and stuff like that. When watching this, all that stuff went over my head, and it kind of watching with some of the scenes, like I didn't understand what they were talking about because I don't know about money and the business world. You're kind of around my age, or you don't know about business. That stuff, some of the scenes, you have to rewatch the movie to kind of get the idea with it, just because it can go over your head one time. But overall, yes, it's a good movie. I enjoyed it, even though I'm not into the subject matter. And surprising that this is a drama still, and I can't believe I'm giving this, but I'm giving it the bomb!
This movie was just brilliant. They did such a good job with this film, and I'm so glad that we got a chance to go and see this, because right now the film is in limited release, and hopefully it'll hit wide release soon, because everyone should see this film. It's really, really that good. So overall, my final thoughts about this film was it's fantastic. I had a great time. Thought it was hilarious. I would love to go see it again, and it was an awesome movie. I was really impressed by it. I didn't think I would be, and going into it blindly, not knowing anything about it really, I was actually blown away by this film, and I would actually give this movie a big 5 out of 5. Brandon? Brandon is doing the mannequin challenge, it seems. So overall, this was a great film, and I want to give a shout out and a big thank you to Mr. Paul Willson of Willson Entertainment and Willson Advertising Media. Willson Media and Advertising. That's what it is. How's that for a credit? But anyway, Paul Willson, thank you so much. I appreciate it. He's the one that brought this movie to us. He's the one that asked us to review it for him, and I had a great time. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And if there's anybody else out there who wants us to review a movie for them, be sure and hit the subscribe button and join us here on Box Office Maniacs, and send us a line, send us a message, email us, write to us, put it in the comments, say, hey, we got a movie for you to review, and we'll do it, because we're just like that. We do things like that, and only for you. And Merry Christmas. We'll hope to see you in 2017. As soon as you hit that subscribe button, we'll see you in 2017.
I was doing the mannequin challenge.